keep loving each other like this, we keep going out and battling like this, I promise you, bro. I promise you, bro. It's the top and we ain't stopping. Yes, sir. And we ain't stopping. Yes, sir. Run me on me. Dance on 3. 1, 2, 3.
Strip, sack, touchdown. Hit him up, hit him up, hit him up, go. Strip, sack, touchdown. Hit him up, hit him up, hit him up, go. Strip, sack, touchdown. Hit him up, hit him up, hit him up, go. Strip, sack, touchdown. Hit him up, hit him up, hit him up, go. All these sacks, the QB scared of dropping back. Get him in, go attack. From the kick off to the final snap. We up peak, we in the city. SCIA turned up, baby, tune in with me. UCF Jag, the real blood. All you need to know right here, I'm talking real loud updates. Start Adam, Chef, Kenny Jakes. Till it really on point, no pump face. PCs to the house, new V, drop it now. YouTube for my day news, then my go-to, never take down. What's in it, got nothing on it. Doubt my squad, put something on it. Tell her AC, how we run it. Get the ring fitted, cause we coming forward. Strip, sack, touchdown. Our eyes better run now. It's 4 down, go punt now. Cut through Duval, get stunned down. Yeah, strip, sack, touchdown. Hit him up, hit him up, hit him up, go. Strip, sack, touchdown. Hit him up, hit him up, hit him up, go. Strip, sack, touchdown. Hit him up, hit him up, hit him up, go. Strip, sack, touchdown. Hit him up, hit him up, hit him up, go.
Touchdown! DJ Chark, the over-the-shoulder grab.
Mike Leach basically said, hey, you want to lead the country in passing? Minshew, deep ball, separation, DJ Chark. Chark with a stiff arm on board, and Chark is still going.
Here's J.J. Watt. Minshew down the sideline.
And what is going on, everybody? Welcome back into the channel off-season mode. I have been in off-season mode partly because of different things with my schedule. I was wanting to come out with stuff last week, but man, I got really just body slammed at work with a bunch of deadlines that came up. So excuses, but we're here on a Saturday night edition of the channel. So happy you guys are all with me. Shout out to everybody in here. Robert was the first one here. What's up, man? Charlie Boy with the Duval emojis. Us and them says, I made it early. Yay. All right. You're here at the very beginning of the show. David Bryan, what's up, man? Julian says only 26 days until Jags football. Yes. August 4th is the day to mark on your calendars because that is the first preseason game. It's coming at us super quick. Man, I know I'm excited. I mean, right now it's July. Really, when it's June and July, it really makes me it's almost a sad moment because it makes me realize how much I really rely on the NFL calendar to determine how bored I am. I mean, like right now with June and July, there's nothing going on with football or Jaguars news unless you're highly tuned in to the Deshaun Watson stuff, which I don't think anybody's really interested in that. I think the only people interested are maybe Texans fans, as they can kind of sit here and laugh at the situation the Browns got themselves in. But yeah, it's been slow. But hey, I think training camp is like 2 weeks away or something like that. And then, we got 4 preseason games. I mean, I know preseason, you love it and you hate it. But the Jaguars, we have a lot of new additions. We're going to have a lot of, roster competitions. And I know it's going to be a lot of fun. So I'm super looking forward to it. Today, I'm going to bring you guys a way too early 53-man roster prediction. I was going to make this a video, but then I kind of wanted to talk with you guys. And, it's kind of a stupid prediction video thing because, I mean, a lot of these things, we know who's going to, like 90% of the roster, the last 10%. We kind of have to see in preseason what they bring. That dude Evan says, what is that shirt? Shout out to New Era Jaguars. New Era Jaguars. It's a Facebook group. I have them down in the description box below if you're on Facebook. They are essentially a Jaguars group. I am an admin. I'm in there constantly just monitoring things, deleting people's posts that they're out of line. I'm adding people like crazy. I'm starting conversations. I'm doing it all. You know what I mean? I'm over there repping for the UCF Jaguar community and the Facebook group community. So New Era Jaguars, where I got this, it's like a Trevor Lawrence handing off to Travis Etienne. And with I like the American flag, even though from here it looks kind of like a Puerto Rican flag with a 1 star. But I mean, you guys get the picture. Brett James is in the building. What's up, man? I don't know why it's not showing a profile picture for you, but it's all good. It's all good. Kiko says, "Yo, what's up, man?" Kev B says, "This summer reminds me of the feel of football training camp." Yes. Does that Facebook group stream the game? I believe so. I mean, Facebook does not police the like the live stream of the football games like the other platforms do. Like YouTube, if you have the game up for like 15 seconds, boom, you're taken down, and they're trying to take down your channel. that's but Facebook, man, I mean, yeah, when I was over in Spain, I was trying to watch the game. I went to the Facebook groups, and I knew it was a new era with Jaguars. I saw I think it was Jerry streaming over in the Jaguars Let's Go group. So it's definitely that's the place to go if I'm not out there streaming. You know what I mean? Jesus is King. Shout out to you, man, for the $5 donation. He says, "Best YouTuber for Jags content. No one competes with you." I appreciate it, man. I know there's a lot of different guys out there, and we all have our own little twist on stuff. I know I've been bad with content the last week, but you guys know, man, this is going to be the 2017, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22. This will be my 6th season independently covering the Jaguars. And you guys all know, man, I've been here for 5 years. I'm not going anywhere. If there's Jaguars news, I'll be here. If it's dead, sometimes I disappear a little bit. Like, I don't mean to, but sometimes I like to get Jaguars news then cover it. I like to go out there and preview. I like to do live streams of games. But you guys know, man, if I need to be here, whether it's free agency or the draft or during the season, I'm going to be here. So thank you, Jesus is King. I appreciate that. So Kiko says Hall of Fame game coming up. Yes, man. It's August 4th. Looking forward to it. Jaguars United with the $9.99 donation says no one comes close. Appreciate that, man. And we gotta get on a live stream here soon together. I gotta get better on my bringing people in for live streams. I'm slow with it, but yeah, I appreciate it, man. You do. I know when it comes to film breakdowns, man, you're the king of it. And if you guys want your fix of film breakdowns, no one does it better for the Jaguars than Jaguars United. Go to his channel. I know he recently dropped a Devin Lloyd one. I know X's and O's is not something that I'm the best at because I am just a fan. I've never really played football at a very high level. So guys like Jaguars United can definitely get your fix in there. Buzz says, been subscribed since 2017. Yes, man. Les said 5 sad seasons. Yeah, my first video, January 2017. The Jaguars' first year, we went to the AFC Championship game. I'm like, this is awesome. Man, YouTubing is fun. I get the preview playoff games, but since then, doom and gloom. But yeah, I agree. This season is going to be different. At least it feels like we're going to move the needle in the right direction. Isn't that right? So it's going to be fun. But you guys see the title of this video, Jaguars 53-man roster predictions. We're going to go through it. I know this is kind of chalky, but it gives us a good opportunity to kind of talk about these different position groups. So let's get it, man. Let's start with the position group that sells tickets, that makes the money, and that is the quarterback position. I only have 2 quarterbacks. Trevor Lawrence and CJ Beathard are locks to make this team. And nothing else to be said. Now the question is, will the Jaguars bring on a third quarterback? I know Jake Luton is a guy that is pretty has been well liked amongst like 3 different coaching staffs. I mean, this will be his 3rd straight year going through the Jaguars preseason program. He was a draft pick by the Jaguars, and then he spent a little bit of time in Seattle and also the Dolphins. Now he's got good upside because he has a huge arm. I mean, this guy has, when it comes to backups, just one of the biggest arms. He's just and it'll be, if the Jaguars don't want him to get sniped again by another team. Maybe they try to keep him on. There's also EJ Perry, who's an undrafted guy out of Brown University. They actually went out and gave him a bunch of guaranteed money to basically come out here and compete for a roster spot. So, but I don't see him cracking the line. I mean, the only guy I see with any potential of making it is maybe Jake Luton, but I think there's a 90% chance we roll out here with two quarterbacks and they save that roster spot and they bring one of these guys onto the practice squad. That's how this kind of stuff is usually handled. So we'll get on to the next one. And also shout out to CJ Beathard, man. He had last year against the Bills, he had the ugliest looking throw that turned into one of the most impressive throws. Like that throw he made to, I think, Darren Arnold on the sidelines. He threw that thing and it was a duck. We were like, where the hell is this thing going? It was just fluttering in the air and somehow it landed perfectly into Dan Arnold's breadbasket right on the sidelines. It was a funny and cool throw. But that was it was an interesting time with him in the game. Man, he threw a dime to Jamal Agnew on that touchdown. That was definitely Jamal Agnew's low light of the season when he dropped that touchdown pass in the back of the end zone. It was a weird little drive for CJ Beathard. Then Trevor Lawrence came back, ran on the field after I think everybody wearing teal in TIAA Bank Fields. I think everybody wearing teal, everybody just shat their pants a little bit when Trevor went down. I know me, I was like, dude, he's holding his ankle. He's on the ground wincing. Doesn't look good. But you know what? He came back and all was well. Finished the season healthy. That's all. That's the biggest positive out of last year. So next we'll move on to the running back position. I have 4 running backs making the team. I have the 3 locks, which are ETN, James Robinson, and Snoop Connor. And then now the 4th spot, this one's going to be a competition. Right now, I think it's a competition between Cottrell and Armstead. But the thing is, a lot of people mistake like James Robinson and Snoop Connor, like these guys are like the same kind of player, but they're not. They do have a little bit different skill sets, but I do think Armstead is probably too kind of similar to some of these guys. So I think Cottrell also makes a team mainly because he's a little bit different and he's a little bit better in special teams as well. But I think this could be a spot where maybe the Jaguars try to find somebody and if another team like cuts a guy. But this is really dependent on, I don't know if James Robinson, I don't know when he's in preseason, if he's going to start on I don't know if there's like the pup list or whatever. I don't know what his status is. I know he's running straight right now. Like he's running straight line, but I don't know what about cutting. So that's one to monitor. But yeah, I mean, I think the 4th guy that makes the roster will be strictly special teams. I doubt they get any carries if the top 3 guys are healthy. So yeah, 4 running backs. Next up, we have wide receiver. Now this one is where things get a little bit dicey. Now I'm gonna turn a fan off for this one because this conversation is about to get hot. Okay, wide receiver. We have 5. Wait, why do I only have? Who am I missing? 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, I'm severely missing somebody. Chenault Agnew. Oh, okay, I got it. Okay, I'm looking at this list. I missed Zay Jones on here. Okay, because I wrote down Jones, but we have 2 Joneses. Okay, Christian Kirk, Marvin Jones, Laviska Shenault, Jamal Agnew, and Zay Jones. I think those 5 guys are locks. I know a lot of people talk about Shenault. Oh, is he on the roster block or not? I think he'll be able to make it. And I do feel a little bit of a comeback for him. I know we've all been hard on him. Last year was not a good year, but some of these guys, man, we had the worst head coach in NFL history last year. Shad Khan made the worst hire of all time, and a lot of these players, man, like I had to kind of give a lot of these guys the benefit of the doubt because of that, and especially the wide receiver room last year, it was a mess. Urban Meyer was hard on him. Urban Meyer was hard on the wide receiver coach. It was a really weird unit last year. So yeah, those 5 guys are locks. Now the 6th guy maybe they keep 7. Most of the time, teams keep 6. But I have this 6th guy as Laquan Treadwell. And a lot of people are saying, what about Kevin Austin Jr.? I'll get into Kevin Austin Jr. right now. Now, Kevin Austin Jr. is a really weird case. And I had a whole video. I made like a 15 or 16 minute video about this guy. Kevin Austin Jr. is the ultimate raw player. Like, he's very, very raw. He's a guy that his first 3 years at Notre Dame, he had a total of 6 receptions and 108 yards. That's what he did his first 3 years. Now, he had a bunch of injuries. He was suspended for an entire season. It was, he didn't do anything. And then in his 4th year, in 2021, he exploded on the scene, 48 receptions, 888 yards, and 7 touchdowns. Stellar year. Awesome year. Now, a big reason why I can't put him in to make the roster right now is because if you're the 6th wide receiver, you need to be able to play special teams. And this is a guy that's never played a single snap in college at special teams. So Kevin Austin Jr. is a guy that if there's anybody that needs reps in training camp and preseason, if there's anybody that cannot get nicked up even for a couple of days, I mean, this guy needs to stay healthy, and this guy needs to get every single rep that he can, because he needs to learn the special teams. And obviously, he had 1 year of production in college, so he needs to also learn a wide receiver position. But he has a lot of upside, as you can see right there. And Robert says he also averaged 18 yards though. Yeah, he was really good in 2021, but the thing I can't get past is he's never played special teams. I mean, that's a learning curve, man. And Laquan Treadwell, exactly the player you're going to get with him. He's at that point, but will they be with Kevin Austin with his upside? Maybe that helps him make the roster. Now, here's the thing. If Laquan Treadwell and Kevin Austin, if they're tied to make the roster, the bump is going to go to Kevin Austin, because you're going to be able to hide Laquan Treadwell on the practice squad, and teams aren't going to try to snipe and pick him up. But if you put Kevin Austin Jr. on the practice squad, I think you're pretty much guaranteeing that a team is probably going to try to pick him up. So maybe the Jaguars keep 7 wide receivers. Maybe they take a spot away. I could see them, if the whole running back room is healthy, I could see them only keeping 3 running backs, or maybe even only keeping 3. Actually, no, I don't know if they only. I think they probably keep 4 tight ends, just because of running a lot of 21 personnel. You got a lot of tight ends going on there. But maybe you borrow something from somewhere else. But if you're keeping 6 wide receivers, right now, until I see the preseason go on, I got to put Treadwell on the roster. Now, another guy that's a sleeper is Jeff Cotton Jr. Jeff Cotton Jr., obviously, we remember him last preseason. He was really good last preseason. And a lot of people were thinking that he was going to make the roster. But he didn't. But he did stay on the Jaguars practice squad the entire season. He's back again this year. So maybe after a year of, being on the practice squad, maybe he can, come out here and, put together a good preseason and get a spot on the roster. So we'll see. And shout out to everybody here, man. 93 people in the chat. Drop likes for me if you guys can. Really, really appreciate you guys being here. Let me know if some of you guys agree with me. Let me know. Drop who you guys think. Who you guys think the 6th wide receiver is going to be? You guys think Treadwell, Cotton, Austin Jr., or do you think another guy? Let me know what you guys think. Steven says, great to catch a live show. 2 a.m. here in Ireland. All right. We are international. I love it, man. I love it. Now we're at 100 people. Thanks everybody for filtering in here. It's a lot of fun. Teal Town says, season is near. Woo! Yes, season is near. I'm excited. Hey, man, we're 2 months away from the regular season, and then So Treadwell. I have 2 for Treadwell. I have 1 for Cotton. Cotton's gone, so 1 minus for Cotton. We've got to remember every time the Jags have went to the playoffs the year before, we stunk. Yeah. I mean, we usually stink. Every time the Jags take the field, we usually stink, but let's try to change that. I'd say Treadwell because of the rapport he has. Yeah, that is something I didn't mention. Treadwell and Trevor are really good friends. Each of their wives are good friends. They hang out in the off season. So, maybe that gives, the quarterback. I mean, the only person that could talk any sense in Urban Meyer last year was Trevor Lawrence when he went to the sideline and said, "Hey, James Robinson is our best running back. Why don't we put him in the game?" So he does have a little bit of say. I saw Jeff Conn in the preseason game against the Cowboys. He went off. Yes, he was good that game. Was Shenault your fifth? Yes. Treadwell, Ingram. Yeah, and that's another thing. So we'll get into Robert says Treadwell. Joseph says Austin will stay. Okay. So we'll move on. Tight end. I have 4 tight ends making the roster. Dan Arnold, Evan Ingram, Manhertz are all locks, and I have the 4th guy is Farrell. We'll see. I think the 4th spot is really open. Got a couple of undrafted guys that this is a very if you're an undrafted guy, it's a very good team to be on right now because that 4th spot is wide open. You know what I mean? It's not like quarterback where the top 2 spots are locked up. This spot I think is very, very much up for grabs. So, and one thing when people talk about wide receivers, I mean, I think for the first time this year, when we think about the receiving game, we can really start factoring in tight ends in the receiving game. Because I know the last like decade, besides year we got Julius Thomas and the guy gained 30 pounds and ate himself off the team. We can really start factoring some of these tight ends into our team because Doug Peterson loves the tight ends. He loves the mismatches, and I think Evan Ingram's gonna have a really good year. And even Dan Arnold. I mean, Dan Arnold showed a burst. I think Dan Arnold and Evan Ingram are gonna be a couple good tight ends. Let's just hope they stay healthy. And Manhertz is on a team. I mean, man, I got Manhertz. How many penalties? Like, we'd have this long run, a long play, and then it's called back because Chris Manhertz made a stupid ass block, but whatever. But yeah, tight end. I'm excited about it. Someone said something earlier that I wanted to mention. But yeah, tight end, I think it's going to have so when we think about the receiving options, don't just think Christian Kirk, Agnew, Zay Jones. You got to also factor in like Dan Arnold and Evan Ingram. I think a lot of touchdowns are going to be had by some of these tight ends. So next, final offensive unit is the offensive line. So, we have some roster locks with the starting line with Cam Robinson, Ben Barch, Shatley, Brandon Sheriff, and then right tackles, Jawan Taylor and Walker Little. I think ultimately Walker Little is going to win that competition. And then you have Luke Fortner. Those 6 guys are all locks. No, those 7 guys, apologies, are all locks. I think Shatley will probably start the year at center, but I mean, Shatley's either like a bad game away or an injury away from Luke Fortner coming in and holding down that center spot. I mean, and who knows? I mean, Fortner is like a really smart guy. Fortner has like 3 different degrees from Kentucky. He was there for like 6 years. He has like a mechanical engineering degree. He has like an MBA. He has like an aerospace engineering. I mean, he's a smart guy. So maybe he's just so impressive and picks up the playbook so fast that they just insert him in at the starting center right away. But we'll see about that. And I have Will Richardson making it as the final spot. I think really Tyler Shatley gives you a lot of flexibility when it comes to versatility is the word I'm looking for. Versatility when it comes to just being able to play left guard, center, and right guard. And Will Richardson gives you flexibility to pretty much play every position besides center. I mean, this guy's moved. I think this guy's played pretty much every position besides center. And they just re-upped his contract. They didn't give him a lot of money, but enough to stay on here. So Richardson's going to lock down that spot. So I have 8 offensive linemen. So that rounds out the offensive side. So I have 6, 12, 16. I have 24 players making it on offense. All right. So next up, we're going to go to the defense. Now we're going to go defensive line. Now this is like Jaguars play a 3-4, so all these positions are so weird, but this is pretty much like interior defensive line. And then so I have Fatu Kasi, who we just brought in from free agency. Devon Hamilton is going to be a nose guard with Malcolm Brown. We have Roy Robertson Harris, and then we have Arden Key, Jay Tufele, and Adam Gotsis. So that's going to be kind of the rotation. Now, Arden Key also gives you a little bit of flexibility to also move him out to like an outside linebacker spot, as he has done that. Although I read that he did most of his he never even took outside linebacker reps at training or at the mini camp, OTAs, whatever. So he's going to be, I guess, primarily defensive line. So those are some of those guys, just some of the grunts up in the middle. And Randy says, what about Fatu Kasi? Yeah, Fatu Kasi, no, he's going to be a lot of fun. And I think Fatu Kasi was probably somebody that, because when you looked at Mike Caldwell's defense, Mike Caldwell just really versatile. I should say Todd Bowles' defense, but, he was a part of it. Todd Bowles really, when you looked at his defense, like Vita Vea, playing that, in that middle of the offensive line, just had a big guy that's hard to push around. I think that was really important in that defense. And I think Fatu Kasi was probably a guy that he was banging the table to bring in, because with the defense that the Jaguars are going to run, they're going to be doing a lot of stuff, and you need a lot of good defensive players to do that, especially at the linebacker position. That's why the Jaguars basically turned over the entire linebacker position, because they need guys that are versatile. They need guys that are smart at their positions to be able to do that kind of stuff, because they're going to be rushing the passer. They're going to be dropping back in coverage. They're going to do a lot of stuff. But Fatu Kasi is going to kind of be that Vita Vea role, where just kind of the big man stuff in the middle, who's also a little bit versatile. So, Fatu Kasi, I think he's going to be a good addition. He wasn't a good fit in a 4-3, but he's great in a 3-4. So I'm excited about it. And the Jaguars defense, it's going to be exciting, man. It really is. So Fatu Kasi is going to play a huge role in it for sure. So that's defensive line. That's 7 defensive linemen. Now, outside linebacker, we have Josh Allen, Trevon Walker, DeJuan Smoot, and Caleb Chason. And this one sucks because, Jordan Smith, Caleb Chason thing, I thought that was going to be a fun competition. But unfortunately, he tore his ACL. Jordan Smith tore his ACL in minicamp. Jordan Smith was a guy that we drafted in the 4th round out of UAB. It was the final Jalen Ramsey draft pick. They actually traded up to get him, but he tore his ACL, and he was looking big. It looked like he put on some weight. He was a guy that was like, okay, we're going to get this guy. He's raw, but he has a lot of upside, and he looked like he put on like 20, 30 pounds. But unfortunately, he tore his ACL, so he's not going to be a factor this year, which probably locks Chason in to make the roster. So those are these guys, man. Those are 3 first-round picks. A lot of investment here for the Jaguars. And let's just hope Trevon Walker coming in here, number 1 overall pick. He's going to be able to help Josh Allen hit his ceiling, and that just do a lot of good things there. So outside linebacker, that's going to be a fun position group to watch. And Walker and Trevon Walker is just going to be a fun player to watch in general, because look, Jaguars could have drafted anybody in a 2022 NFL draft, and they chose to draft Trevon Walker. They thought he was the best player in the draft. Let's see how that plays out, because the Jaguars drafted him over guys that seem to be safer with like Evan Neal or even Aiden Hutchinson. So put this one on hold, and we're going to visit this. We're going to visit this in 3 years. We need 3 years to really decide, what was the best move. So let's keep an eye out for this one. Next one, I have inside linebacker. This one might be the best unit for the Jaguars. We have Foye Oluokun, the free agency guy out of the Atlanta Falcons. I believe this is the first guy the Jaguars signed in free agency. Really underrated guy. Led the NFL in tackles last year. We have Devin Lloyd. We have Chad Muma, both guys draft picks. And then we have Shaquille Quarterman. Man, Shaquille Quarterman must have been looking after they cut Miles Jack. He must have been like, man, this is my unit. This is my time to shine. This is my defense. And they go out there and sign Devin Lloyd. It's like, all right, it's cool. It's cool. And they go out there and draft Chad Muma. Then he's kind of sitting here like you guys ever see that that picture of him? Let me see if I can find it. It's like him just staring at let's see. Let me look at my Twitter. Oh yeah. This is an A plus tweet by me. Okay, let's see. Share. This was Shaq Quarterman after after the NFL draft. He's just sitting there giving the look. He's like, man, this is supposed to be my defense. And you go out here and draft all these dudes instead of me. Come on now. But yeah, sorry, Shaq. This was like the meme going around after the Houston game when we were like, what the hell just happened here? So yeah, I thought that one was funny. Let's stop screen on that. Okay. Jack should have taken Neil, says Chris. The urban pick. LOL. Okay. So where were we before I got? Oh yeah. Okay. So inside linebacker, Aluakin, Lloyd, Muma, Shaq. I love the Devin Lloyd pick, man. I think this guy is going to be the future of this defense. I mean, Lloyd can do everything, man. He's sideline to sideline. He's great in coverage. He has really good pass rushing skills. I mean, he's out there working with like Robert Mathis on his pass rushing technique. You know, he's going to be the ultimate, linebacker that is going to be able to do a lot of stuff. I feel really, really good about Devin Lloyd. Like better than I felt, I guess, outside of Trevor Lawrence, better about any draft pick we've really ever had, at least in the first round. Okay, so next up, that handles the linebackers. Now we have cornerbacks. I have 6 cornerbacks making the roster. I have Shaquille Griffin, Tyson Campbell, Darius Williams. Those are going to be your top 3 guys. I have Chris Claybrooks, Greg Jr., and Martavis Brown. Martavis Brown and Gregory Jr. both rookies that we drafted in the 7th round. Now this one we'll kind of see. I mean, there's one of the spots is a competition between Chris Claybrooks and Trey Herndon. Both of those guys drive me insane. But I don't know. They really like Chris Claybrooks. They also like everybody loves Trey Herndon. I think he's just like a really good teammate and he's probably really smart. Was it 6th round? My bad, January, man. Yeah, they dropped a couple 6th-round picks. But I mean, they always like Herndon, but man, Herndon is just on the field. He's so slow and he's just not very good. So I don't know. I have him off the roster, but honestly, him and Chris Claybrooks drive me nuts. I hope there's a like undrafted guy that goes out and really shows out and can make the roster, but it doesn't usually happen a lot of cornerback. So yeah, I have 6 cornerbacks making the roster. Now we also have safety. Our safety position might be sneaky good. I have 5 safeties making the roster with Jenkins, Cisco. I know you guys hate to hear this guy, but Andrew Wingard. I have Daniel Thomas and Rudy Ford. Jenkins, I think he'll be on a team for another year. I think they probably look to maybe upgrade from him next year. Cisco is the guy that everybody's excited about. I mean, he really is a fan favorite, even though he didn't even play that much last year. But I think a lot of it had to do with Urban Meyer's ego and kind of sticking it to Trent Baalke. That's kind of my tinfoil hat theory about that. So yeah, Cisco gets his hands on a ball. I'm excited to see him. Daniel Thomas, great at special teams. Rudy Ford is another guy that brought on as a special teamer, but he actually started playing some good defense for us really midway through the year. He had a good year, especially coming off of the different blitzes. But man, I rewatched that Zach Wilson run last year. Man, what kind of angle did he take on Zach Wilson? That was one of the most pathetic things I've ever seen. His attempt on that. But yeah. So I have 5 guys making a team. And Wingard, I mean, coaches just love Wingard, man. He just does. I think he's just a scrappy guy. And, you know, maybe he's a good teammate. I don't know. Something about him the players love. Maybe he's just like works his ass off and, you know, he's got that Wyoming work ethic. I don't know. So finally, we have the 3 special teamers. Logan Cook, definitely. We at punter, we have Ross Matzik at long snapper. I mean, who cares? And then we have Santoso. Santoso looks to probably be the favorite right now, although there is a competition between him and Mavis. Now it's crazy. The difference between Santoso and Mavis is 6 inches and about 50 pounds. I mean, Santoso is like, I think he's like 6'4", 6'5". Let me look this up real quick. Should have just kept this open for this exercise. Let's click on kicker. Yeah, so Andrew Mavis is 5'11", 207 pounds. Ryan Santoso is 6'5", 258 pounds. It surprised a lot of people last year when the Jaguar, or I guess this year I should say, the Jaguars cut Matthew Wright. Matthew Wright did some pretty good things last year, but he was cut for the sole purpose of kickoffs, man. He could not kick the ball through the back of the end zone. And I mean, teams were returning the ball like crazy. And I hate that. I hate, you know, I want them to kick it to the back of the end zone every time. I don't ever want a team to be able to return a kickoff on us. Because a lot of times they take it and they would return it to like a 31 or 32 yard line. It's like, great, we just gave them 7 free yards when we didn't have to. And you're also out there risking injury. So it's, you know, it's that whole thing. So, oh yeah. So there we have it. That's my way too early 53-man roster predictions. I think I'm most excited to see the wide receiver competition. You know, that's always a fun position as Jaguars fans because, you know, we've had some undrafted free agents make it, you know, whether it be Allen Hurns or Keelan Cole. I mean, even we had guys like Alan Lazard who had a good preseason who didn't make it on the Jaguars roster but went over to Green Bay, and the rest is history. And I think there's one more undrafted guy that I'm not remembering, but you know, there's Keelan Cole, Allen Hurns, and like one other guy, I believe. But and then also James Robinson was another undrafted gem. Now we didn't have preseason when he came through, so that one he didn't really make the roster because of preseason. That was one thing that was confusing. It's like, okay, we cut Leonard Fournette. What are we gonna do now? I mean, we have Raekwon Armstead. We have everyone's talking about James Robinson. Who the hell is this guy? I can tell you, I didn't watch any Northern Illinois or Southern Illinois or whatever Illinois he was from. But man, he was good. And, you know, Fournette, I mean, he had the size and the speed, but James Robinson's just ability to find the holes and be patient and, you know, get slippery and just find his way for first downs. I mean, it was good. Although I do think this year ETN's going to be that dude. I think he's going to be the I think James Robinson probably has his role on like 1st and 10 and maybe even goal line situations. But I mean, ETN gives you so much versatility. I mean, James Robinson's not going to pop off for 30+ yard runs. And nowadays with the NFL, you want explosiveness, you want speed, and you know, ETN's got all that. And ETN, I mean, he's been dropping. Let me pull up ETN's. ETN's been putting in that work. What's his guys, what's Travis Etienne's Twitter handle? It's like Sneaky or something. He has one of those. ETN is one of those Twitter accounts where it's like it's not his name. Let's see. Oh, okay. Swaggy11. Okay. It's Swaggy. Is that Swaggy? Just seems like like something I would say when I'm 16. Okay, let's see. Oh, he's not sharing it. Okay, I think I've seen it from other sources. Let's see. What up, Alms? Welcome in here, man. Travis Etienne. Dude, I can't even spell this guy's name. Okay. Okay. Let's get some Travis Etienne pouring up in here. Share screen. All right, let's go to the beginning. All right, look at this. Skeep. It's looking good, man. Looking good. Whew. Look at this. Look at those feet. Liz Frank, who is what I'm saying. Sheesh. Oh, man. I like that. Killing it. Am I the only one with a little bit of chub going on? I don't think so. I'm not sure which foot it was. I don't know if we ever got to the bottom of that. Man, that is like one of the most depressing tweets you can get is when like your brand new first round pick, in the preseason before you even see him play a game. All right, this guy is officially out for the year. It's like, and we were so excited for that Trevor Lawrence, ETN, Clemson connection. But hey, we're back. He took a year off. As ETN said, it was a good year to take a year off with the whole Urban Meyer mess. Let's see if there's any more. See if there's any more ETN video. But yeah, that's I like the video. Okay, I can't find anything. Definitely reminds me of Alvin Kamara, quick as hell. Yeah, that's the guy. A lot of people talk. Oh, Deebo Samuel. I think Alvin Kamara is the type of role we wanted to play in more because Alvin Kamara does most of his work from the backfield, but he also goes out there, lines up a wide receiver every now and then, and can play the position. Now they definitely want him to be a hybrid. I mean, if there's at some point last year, Urban Meyer gave up. I think it might have been like, I don't know if it was in the preseason or maybe like week 3 or week 4, but at some point he said, look, this sucks and I am not in it right now. But there was a point where he did care, and he definitely cared during OTAs and rookie minicamp. And when he put, Travis Etienne a wide receiver, that's the same exact thing Doug Peterson did when he brought him in here, or when Doug Peterson came through. So, if there was anything that they can shake hands and agree on between Urban Meyer and Doug Peterson, it was just that. Dude, Whiteock just got here. Where you been, bro? I waited 43 minutes to get this stream going. Okay, you're here now. Now we can run it. Colby says, I think Etienne will have that type of season Najee Harris did last year in terms of everything he can do, although he won't run Etienne into the ground. Yeah, I mean, honestly, Najee Harris, I don't think it'll be very similar because Najee Harris was the workhorse. I mean, he was the 3-down back. I do think that Etienne, James Robinson, and Snoop Conner are going to be in the mix. So I think all of them will have their different roles. I mean, Doug Peterson's really good when it comes to just splitting things up. I mean, he did that with back in the day with like Miles Sanders and some of the other guys that he had. I mean, he had all kinds of running backs out there doing work. Because I think during the Super Bowl, he had like Darren Sproles. Did he have like Garrett? No, he had like Jay Ajayi or something. I forget. What did that roster look like? See what the running back room looked like. Yes, they had Darren Sproles, Smallwood, Corey Clement, and LeGarrette Blount. And they had Jay Ajayi. Yeah, they had a bunch of guys. Let me see if there's a... Can I get like stats? 2017 statistics. All right, rushing. Yeah, so they split it up a good bit. LeGarrette Blount. Actually, I'll share my screen for you guys so we can all look at the same thing. Okay. So here are the leading rushers on a team. LeGarrette Blount with 766, then Jay Ajayi 408, Clement with 321, Carson Wentz got a little action in there, Wendell Smallwood. This is an interesting number. What is that? 7, 8, 9. They only had 9 rushing touchdowns last year, or that in 2017. The Super Bowl run, Eagles only had 9 rushing touchdowns. Let's see how many receiving these guys had. 4 receiving touchdowns. That's an interesting number. So they did most of their work through the air. Yeah, 9. Team total 9 versus, 9 rushing touchdowns, 38 receiving touchdowns. Let me see who's... I wonder how many of these are tight ends. Yeah, so 3 out of their 4 top guys. Zach Ertz, 8 touchdowns. Trey Burton, 5. And you look at this, man, like, you know, a lot of people say our wide receiver room is not up to par. But look, I mean, this is a Super Bowl winning team. I mean, Alshon Jeffrey was good. That was really good that year. He was kind of at the tail end of being good. Nelson Aguilar had a pretty good year, but outside of that, I mean, Zach Ertz. I mean, Trey Burton really wasn't even that good. I mean, this was like a Julius Thomas situation where, Trey Burton went here. The Bears gave him a lot of money, and he didn't do anything after that. But yeah, they just spread the ball around a lot. I mean, look at this: 5 touchdowns and 2, 2, 1, 1, 1, 1. Yeah. So let's see receptions. What are receptions looking like? So Zach Ertz led with 74. Yeah, we gotta hope. I mean, if Evan Ingram can hold on to the ball, or maybe even like we can have a joint combination of like Dan Arnold and because this was pre when they brought in Dallas Goedert. If we can have kind of them two put in this work that Zach Ertz did, 74 receptions, man, 110 targets. That's good shit right there. Nelson Aguilar. Who the hell is this guy? 16 receptions. Not many receptions by running backs, really. 8, 7, 10. Such an interesting one. So yeah, look at me right now. We're diving into Eagles statistics. I kind of want to see 2018. I'm only doing this because we're I kind of want to see. Okay, they 9-7, second in NFC East. This is the year I think they beat the Bears, right? Like with the double doink. Okay. Let's see this year. Rushing. Josh Adams, dude. I don't even remember this guy. 5'11", 511. Man, their running backs this year were trash. Josh Adams, Wendell Smallwood, and Corey Clement led the team in rushing yards. I mean, dude, our running back room right now is so much better than I think even the 2017 Eagles. So that's that. Let's see. I'm interested in the receiving. So let's see receptions. Yeah, Zach Ertz, dude. He had 1,100 receiving yards, man. We need to try to get a Zach Ertz. That's the key right there, man. Zach Ertz killed it for them. Alshon Jeffrey did it again. 843, 736. Okay, this is when I got Dallas Goedert. Man, we need to start investing in that. Okay, what about the rushing touchdowns this year? That was the main point of this attempt. Yeah, 12. They did a little bit better. 3, 2, 3. Receiving. Let's see who led receiving. So 29 touchdowns this year. All right, cool. All right. So let me get off this exercise. How did I even get there? What was I even talking about? Cody Parkey, put your head back on. Twice. At least we have a receiving. Yeah, I do like our group right now. The big weakness right now though is like between Dan Arnold, Evan Ingram, and Manhurts. All these guys are on expiring contracts. Like next year, once the new calendar year comes, they're all free agents. So like we don't have that position group solidified for the future. We just never, and in the draft, like we never have things drop in the right spot for us when it comes to drafting a tight end, a difference-making tight end. I mean, let's just hope Evan Ingram balls out. And I like Dan Arnold. I did. It's just, we'll just have to see. But shout out to everyone in here, man. 100 people in here. We're getting ready for this NFL season to get here. I'm super excited. I hope you guys are too. It should be, it's gonna be a lot of fun. I really can't wait to be sitting here streaming games for you guys again and watching it with you guys. And if you guys haven't or kind of short on Jaguars content, man, if you guys download the Relevant app and join the Jaguars Fanatics Vibe, there are like 4 different Jaguars podcasts streamed there exclusively every week. We have a show between myself and Tom McManus. Let me put up the banner real quick. Or let's put up myself and Tom McManus. I need to update this graphic, but we do a show Tuesday nights at 9 p.m. Eastern time. Over there, we also have Jordan DeLugo does a show on Monday and Wednesdays at 2 p.m. Eastern time. So that's a really cool show. On Thursdays at 7 o'clock p.m., we have the Spittin' Jags podcast between Stone Cold Steve Boston from the Men and Teal podcast, as well as Jersey Jaguar. They do a show over there for about 30 minutes. And then at 9 o'clock, we have Teal with it with Jag Gator and Mindset from the membership group. So a lot of good shows on there. If you haven't already, download Relevant and go in there and join the Fanatics Vibe. And we have there's also a big group chat in there, man. It's a lot of fun, and it gets really lively during the season. So if you guys want to be a part of something like that, that is where you can go. Yes, we do play the Hall of Fame game, man. And we're getting close. Less than a month away. Says 117 people in here, but only 51 likes. Hit the like button for the GOAT. Yes. Bring him in, man. Let's see if we can hit 100. That'd be really cool. What's the difference from Relevant to YouTube? Well, Relevant, we have a lot more like exclusive stuff over there. And it's just it's an app that has really a lot of different like groups, and they call them vibes based off your interests. I know they do a lot of like recreational like cannabis stuff over there. There's a lot of pop culture stuff. There's different NFL groups. I know for us, we had the Jaguars group where there's exclusive podcasts over there that can only be found over there. We also have a big group chat over there. And I do a lot of stuff there during the season when it comes to like a pregame show. Then I'll do a postgame show this upcoming season. So, if you download the app and join the Jaguars Fanatics Vibe, and it's also a fun way if you guys want to interact with me. I'm in there like all day, every day, just interacting with Jags fans. So yeah. But we're at 54 minutes. I'll do this for another 6 minutes and get that sweet hour spot. I always like to do that. But what have you guys been up to lately, man? I know myself, I've been like following conference realignment a lot. I know USC and UCLA have made the dash to the Big Ten, and now UCF is joining the Big 12 next year. And right now the Big 12 is in a position where the Pac-12, the Pac-10, whatever it's called, it looks like it's dying. And I think the Big 12, they're pretty much a lock to get at the very least the Arizona schools between Arizona and Arizona State, and they're also probably going to get Colorado. But outside of that, like I'm hoping they're able to somehow bring in Utah and also Oregon and Washington really want to be in the Big Ten, but I don't think the Big Ten wants them, but they're not going to be a part of a dying Pac-12. So they might go to the Big 12 unless like the Pac-12 and ACC want to form some kind of like alliance or something. The ACC is super it's super like there's just not a lot of open spots in there right now. Or right now, like it's weird because they're locked into a really bad TV deal, so they can't really they can't do a lot right now. So I don't know. We'll see, but it's been a lot of fun to follow. I hate all the conferences changes so much. To me, it's just going to snowball into a giant mess since the NCAA doesn't know how to handle anything. Yeah, I know for me, I mean, UCF's moving to a bigger conference, so I'm excited about it. I know a lot of college football purists aren't really. I mean, I don't watch a lot of college football games. I just kind of watch UCF games, and I'll watch some of the bigger games. But for me, it's like, whatever goes on, like next year, UCF's going to play, or I guess in 2023, they'll play Oklahoma State, TCU. They'll continue to play teams like Cincinnati. They'll play Baylor. I mean, that's bigger than playing like SMU and, Temple and some of the teams we're playing now. So I don't know. College football is going in the weird direction for sure with NIL and the super conferences. And, there's a chance that the Big Ten and SEC might separate, not even be a part of the NCAA, and might just be basically AFC, NFC type of thing and do their own thing. And then all of a sudden they don't have to follow any NCAA rules, and then players can be on payroll. I don't know. It's weird. Yeah. BYU, UCF, that'll be a fun matchup. So that's what I've been following along too. There's this one guy on Twitter, really good follow. It's MHVER3. I don't know. He has like sources, but he just gives out juicy. Like at 9:13, he says, interesting quote by Dodds that I hadn't heard from my sources. The Big 12 has been told by TV rights advisors that the two most important considerations for expansion are brand and geography. Geography pushed Oregon and Washington to the margins. Push the margins, yet didn't. I get the interesting. All right, I don't know, but I know one thing I know is that the Big 12 ain't going anywhere. They're a good brand. So UCF got really lucky. They got good at the right time. They built up some tin can stadium, and that kind of put them past teams like USF. But whatever, you guys don't really care about UCF, so I won't talk about it. Sometimes I got to throw in my UCF fandom in here. How do you feel about the rumors of the Jags possibly trading Shenault or Marvin Jones? Well, Marvin Jones isn't going to be traded. I mean, no one's going to trade for a 30-something-year-old veteran. Shenault, I mean, if they didn't trade him by now, they're not going to trade him. He's going to make the roster. That was more before free agency and before the draft, but now that, the Jaguars need bodies. I mean, and they're kind of locked in place. Devin Williams is standing for Trey Herndon. Interesting. When Jacksonville Sharks are more relevant than the Jacksonville Jaguars, that's a real problem. I don't think that. I don't hear anything about the Sharks anymore. I don't understand how like arena football stays around. Like, I will say, shout out to USFL. I mean, they did something that the AAF, American Football Alliance of American Football, didn't do. I can't believe I didn't remember that. And XFL didn't do. They're keeping on a full season. That's pretty cool. David says, I'm out. All right, man. Thanks for stopping in here. Really do appreciate that. And yeah, guys, we're getting close to the NFL season. I'm gonna try to post more videos this week. On Tuesday, I had all these deadlines that got popped up at work that I didn't know about. And man, like I was like grinding, man. I put in so many hours of work last week. But yeah, and Charlie boy, I'm the same way, man. I finally had a football team that was good, and that was the Orlando Apollos, and they folded on me. We were going to win the championship, but I digress. As a sad Jaguars and Magic fan, I digress. You know what I mean? But all right, guys, thanks so much for stopping in here. On your way out, definitely drop a like. And you guys already know, man, this is your number one source on YouTube for Jaguars news and coverage. We're going to stay locked down for my 6th season covering the Jaguars. independently on YouTube. That's what over 20% of the Jaguar seasons I've been covering. Man, we're getting up there. So with all that said, have a good night, guys.